First, obviously, I want to get your take on
Mm.
the latest developments in Iran and these ceasefire talks.
Yes, I'm very happy to see the ceasefire. Hopefully, it stays. I'm very pleased with President Trump for leading the way on that. I think peace is the only answer. This is what we campaigned on. We campaigned on no more foreign wars, no more regime change. And I think after over 20 years of the Middle East, Americans are really sick and tired of war in the Middle East. So I'm very happy to see that that's the direction we're going in.
And I know at the same time you were pretty critical of the strikes in Iran over the weekend.
Yeah, of course. I'm unapologetic about America not getting involved in foreign wars. I think this is an issue that's very important to many people. Of course, we stand with our allies. We never want to see Israel being bombed or the people of Israel being bombed. But I'll be very honest, I don't want to see any people in any country being bombed. So I want to see an end to the war between Israel and Iran, an end to the attacks in Gaza, and into the Ukraine-Russia war, and any wars around the world. I think that the people of America are best served when leaders like myself and everyone here in Washington, D.C. are focused on the American people and fixing their problems. I know a lot of people that can hardly afford to buy a house. That's my children's generation. My kids are 22, 25, and 27. And many young people today are looking to the future feeling pretty hopeless. Housing is unaffordable. They can hardly afford to pay rent. Insurance is completely out of control. They're making it paycheck to paycheck and have massive credit card debt. And that's not how Americans should be starting out in life. And that is very upsetting to me. And it's very personal to me as a mom. But I also feel like it's our responsibility to fix that problem for Americans going forward. It's incredibly unfair that young people and that all Americans are saddled with $37 trillion in debt. And, also I'll say this, I think a lot of people are sick and tired. It's been so many years, a long, long time, where it's nonstop drama from Washington, D.C. And Americans just want to be happy. They want to enjoy their life. They don't want to have to constantly worry about what is the government going to do and when are they actually going to fix something that is affecting my life. They really want to be able to, go to a concert or go on a vacation and enjoy time with their family and not have to worry about maybe another terrorist attack happening tragically in our homeland. And
Yeah.
so I took a hard stance this past weekend, and I still have that same stance, is America should not be involved in Israel's attacks on Iran. There's no love lost there for Iran. This is a terrorist regime that has funded terrorism and attacked our troops and when our troops were over in the Middle East. But enough is enough, and we need to get back down to business for America first.
Do you think President Trump made a mistake by bombing Iran?
I think President Trump did what he thought was necessary, and I would never judge him because I didn't receive the information that he received. And we in Congress haven't had a classified briefing yet. I was just told we're supposed to get one on Friday. So I could never make that judgment.
Gotcha. And tonight, there's a group of, I think, leftist activists gathering here in Atlanta opposing any war in Iran. Curious your take on that, because it seems like this might be something you could find some common ground with some of these protesters here in Atlanta tonight.
Well, of course, I've been a war protester myself. I was one of the first members of Congress and actually the loudest voice in a very tiny minority when the Ukraine-Russia war started out. And I actually stood on the Capitol steps and held signs and protested that war. Also protested funding it. I never voted to fund any of our money or weapons to be sent there. I stood with the fact that Americans need help. We've got problems at home. And so, I'm a big defender of the freedom of speech, no matter the issue. It's my job to defend people's right to protest peacefully and of course, obey the law. But yeah, this is one of those times where I think a lot of Democrats are having their mind blown a little bit, saying, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I agree with MTG. But I think that's a good thing, and they've probably never really heard me talk at length. They might be surprised that they might agree with me a little more often.